Loneliness is really tough to deal with before we get to know God. It's one of the toughest things to deal with because Satan knows that it's part of our human nature that for some reason we may desire to have somebody around us all the time or just not be isolated. The feeling of isolation just can make us lonely at times. So loneliness comes about just so many different ways too. It can come from isolation. That is one way, and isolation can be from physical ailments to financial reasons or not having transportation. So many different things can isolate us. Imprisonment can isolate us. So whatever it is, isolation just can bring on some real heartache. And another thing is the end of a relationship. We can become very lonely at the end of a relationship. And that's part of our human nature too is we may not have the understanding that though it's a human relationship that ends, it may be the beginning of a greater spiritual relationship with God. So there's always a positive twist we can put on things, but lonely is lonely, and when we feel it, it's something we have to deal with. So that is where God can help us to never feel abandoned or feel by ourselves. And there's even people who are in relationships that feel lonely. We can be married, we can be dating someone, we can be in a house full of people and yet feel like the loneliest person in the world. And a lot of that has to go with people not understanding what's going on in our life, or maybe we're having some emotional issues to deal with, something going on that just makes us feel mentally isolated, though physically we have people around us. So when we begin to understand that we can build a relationship with God, though it's in a spiritual realm or a spiritual form, to where we don't physically see or physically feel and embrace at the beginning, because eventually we do get to physically feel God's embrace. But at the beginning, we don't understand how He can just hold us in His arms when we're feeling like mighty low and feel like the whole world's just coming down on us. Man, he can grab you in both arms and just hold us and make us feel loved, because that's a big part of loneliness too, is just not feeling the love at the moment. So God gives us that, and if we only give Him a chance to do it and stop relying on other people, like some people will refer to another person in our life as, well, this is my rock. They are my rock. They help me get through life. And we can't believe that, because I mean, God says in the Bible, on at least three occasions that I'm sure of, He says, I am your rock. And that's pretty powerful when God says, I am your rock. So when we say another human being is our rock, we're putting all our confidence in the wrong place. So it kind of makes sense we're going to be lonely if we're putting our rock on another human being, because another human being at some time, more likely than not, will let us down, whether it's out of their control or whether it's intentional or unintentional. But God, He will never let us down, so we will never be lonely when we understand His love. So as we grow in love, let's share it with others, and a lot of people need some love in their life. So let's continually spread it and get rid of a lot of this loneliness in the world. So you have a great, blessed day, my friend. Peace and love. See you soon.